And welcome to Greifenhorst, which is my medieval modded Minecraft Let's Build. There's Gregor. And yeah, what we want to do today, I mean, there's a lot of things we've been working on, but today we're gonna spend some time out in the sunshine because I don't get to do that enough. I believe we're still stuck in March 5th, so it's kind of a brisk morning out there, and oh, look, I stand correct. It's a brisk afternoon. But what we've been doing a little bit of everything. Last episode or so, 2 episodes ago, we found Gregor, and we almost killed him accidentally. Last episode, I don't know why these are out here. Last episode, we took Gregor for a spin, and we learned a couple of things, which should be obvious by looking at him. He's got a really thick neck, and he's really big. And the problem with that is when you go trying to ride that guy through a heavily forested area, like we're in, you can't see where you're going because of his thick neck, and that's a problem, especially because he's so wide. He doesn't fit between a lot of the spaces between trees. So you're constantly on the lookout for wide spaces between the trees, but you can't see the wide spaces because of his neck, so you're always kind of like turning to the side, and it was slow going. However, he is a lot of fun to ride. And the way he's situated, you can't tip that boy over, I'll tell you. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Besides that, or that's what we did. Besides that, today, I like I said, I want to spend some time on the surface in the sunshine because you need vitamin D. I especially need vitamin D, but I also want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. One of which is resource production. And along with the resource production is having a place to put it. Now, we spent a lot of time with the storage system, and it's not even remotely close to done, but it's enough of it is done that I think we have room for pretty much everything we have gathered up to this point. So I'm putting stuff away, putting fruits with fruits and vegetables with vegetables, and that kind of leads me with this weird stuff, right? Because what is amaranth, and we got cinnamon sticks, and what's it? Amaranth is a flower, I think. Green tea leaves and acorns, right? So those aren't fruits, those aren't vegetables. They're just weird stuff. So we will put this over in the weird stuff section. We will create a weird stuff section. Put the tea here. See, we'll put the amaranth here, and then over here we will start putting meats, and then amaranth's a flower. We're not gonna eat that, so let's swap that out with these cinnamon sticks, like so. And then I don't think I've started a place for flowers and natural bits like that, so let's go find a place for them. I don't want them over here. So let's move back toward the middle. The far edge right now will be the foodstuffs. This is not a foodstuff. And there we go. Later today, we'll grab some. Whoa! Hey, I hate these things. Zotspire. Yeah, well, Zotspire is on fire. Not anymore, though. So there you go. Those have a tendency to pop up a lot when I'm working down in the storage area. I guess that's just where they spawn. So that's something we'll have to deal with. And it doesn't seem like they mind spawning in light. So I'll have to look that up. Anyway, we definitely have a lot of work cut out for us today. Now, in the past, when we were doing this, I was using stone tools, and they were unenchanted, and so we're dealing with 1 block at a time. Which, it was fine. It was, we were working through it mellow, and I'd have my grandfather moments and talk about the old days and stuff. today we are using fully enchanted diamond tools with special enchantments called Excavate or Excavation or something like that. Anyway, but the thing is it kills 9 blocks at once. So we can make substantially faster progress. And so instead of hoping to get 1 field cleared by the end of the episode, I hope to have 4 fields cleared. And not only that, but we're dealing with this cliff. So, I mean, that whole cliff is going to be gone at the end of the episode. Now, that's the theory. If there's anything that games, particularly Minecraft, have ever taught me, don't engrave your plans in stone. I think real life has actually taught me a good chunk of that too. Having kids is what really made that point tangible. So we'll do this now. Yeah, I got to tell you, it's not just enough to have these fully enchanted diamond tools. I mean, they help a lot. But I got to tell you, Ars Nouveau, if you know, you have the right spells, whoo doggies. You know, between the two, and what's more too, using the enchantment infuser, I've been able. That's how I was able to easily enchant these weapons to basically be fully optimized, right? And the same thing with my armor. And that's important because with Ars Nouveau, you get these enchantments that will restore your mana faster and also increase your maximum mana. And so having fully optimized armor with those 2 enchantments maxed out, I have almost infinite mana. I mean, I sometimes do run out, but all you have to do is wait 2 or 3 seconds and I'm off to the races again, and that's pretty amazing. As opposed to the classical fantasy game trope, which is the wizard blows their spells, and after that, it's like a Keystone Cops episode where the wizard's running, screaming while everybody's chasing to kill him, right? And at that point, if the fighters and rogues and clerics have to help the wizard if they can stop laughing long enough. So I get it. Yeah, that's how these tropes work. But the thing is in Ars Nouveau, out of the box, they have armor, different sets of armor that have these same enchantments on it, but they're kind of like built in. And so they have armor that looks like Gandalf the Wizard, and that's the one that really maximizes your spell points, right? Your mana and your mana regeneration. You know, so now you're a pure wizard and you know, rock and roll that way. But they have other sets of armor that kind of inch more toward like being a battle mage, which is, yeah, you got your spells, and then when you run out of mana, you pull out your sword and start bashing heads, or slicing them off at least. Now, I didn't go that route. Because of the mod pack, I have the epic Knights in Armor mod, which, for lack of a better term, is pretty epic. I mean, it's got an incredible array of different types of armor, realistically depicted, actual historical armors, right? And if that's not enough for you, there's an add-on. And if that's not enough for you, there are regional historical add-ons. There's one for the medieval Slavic, and there's one for Japanese. And I think we got them all here. I'm not wearing them all, obviously. I wouldn't be able to move. But we have them all available in this world. So, and since those obviously weren't from Ars Nouveau, but I have access to the enchantments, I can put those enchantments on those armors. And so I've got cool looking medieval European armor, but the ability to really be a massively overcharged mage And in truth, there's really no reason why I should shy away from any fights. Now, I say that, but, you know, force a habit, I will shy away from fight because, you know, you're just used to it, right? I mean, if you grew up being Clark Kent and Superman, then that's one thing. But if you grew up being Clark Kent not knowing you're Superman, then, you know, and then, you know, when you're 30 or 40 years old, you learn you're Superman. Old habits die hard, right? That's all I'm saying. Oh gosh. But you can see how quickly this is going. A massive terraforming project like this. And that's good because this is, you know, it was funny because when I was first setting up my three Minecraft, my themed Minecraft series, we got a steampunk one, and we have a post-apocalyptic one, and we have this one, right? Medieval fantasy. And I've always viewed this one as the little project, right? Because the steampunk one, you know, from the get-go, you know, it's kind of getting dark out here. Let me get this cleaned up and let's grab a snooze before unwelcome visitors come to play. But New Londinium, you know, the vision behind that was always pretty grand, right? And ultimately I came up with a plan for a city that is, you know, 1 kilometer in diameter. You know, that's pretty freaking big. Then from the rubble, the city, the base isn't as big as 1 kilometer, but it's still freaking huge. The idea is that it's going to bring together all these peoples who have been abandoned and isolated from the cataclysm that shaped the world, or reshaped the world. And I'm going to give them a place to live, and then of course we'll start restoring the cityscape around us, you know, rebuild the world. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. So that's big. And then this I rounded out because this was like kind of the last one for me to kind of agree to doing, right? I mean, it's not like I was talking to anybody, I was just making up my own mind. But the thing was, the steampunk is something I was really interested in, right? I found Create, and that was exciting. And I've always been kind of a steampunk guy, even before there was a thing called steampunk, right? I mean, because I'm old, so I predate steampunk. Not the era, but actually the term and the genre. But and post-apocalyptic. Well, I've always been a post-apocalyptic guy. And when I found the Lost Cities mod, I was like, oh my gosh, we can do something with this. This would make it fantastic. But, you know, the thing is, vanilla Minecraft is pretty much lock and stock, out of the box, ready for medieval play. And I've played vanilla Minecraft for what seems like 100,000 years. Let's grab these oats. Hopefully we'll get enough seeds. And we're gonna move the shovel here so that I can heal it while we go ahead and grab these things. I got a few more seeds than I started, so that's good. There was an episode a while back. We had 2 oats. We harvested 2 oats, and I got 2 seeds. And I was like, oh man, that's got to be like bad luck, because I hope it's not always like that. And oops, I killed the light. I need to put spellbook back. Well, the shovel's ready anyway. So post-apocalyptic, I'm all over that. But, you know, my fantasy was kind of like the default for Minecraft. It's there even without mods. And, you know, you got your swords, you got your horses, you have your brick blocks. People make castles and stuff all the time. I can't tell you how many I made. I can probably tell you how many I made. Well, no, I can't tell you. It's beyond count. But you see, when I was putting together those mod packs for the steampunk and the post-apocalyptic, you know, you run into these other mods that you're like, oh, this would be awesome, except it doesn't really fit into this one. I mean, that's really for like a medieval one, and I'm not doing a medieval one. Well, you hit that enough times, you're like, oh, maybe I should redo the idea of making a medieval one, and you're looking at the result, right? Because there's some really great stuff out there. I mean, I think the one that finally clinched it for me was Ars Nouveau, because when I was looking at modded Minecraft, you know, in vanilla Minecraft you have redstone, and redstone's great, but redstone has its limitations, and you know, I know somebody's going to be upset by that statement, but most of you are shaking your head going, yeah, they do. It does. And you know, there was a lot of great technology mods, and the one that absolutely killed it, knocked it out of the park for me, was Create. When the Create mod came out, oh my gosh, right? Oh my gosh, that was a game changer for me. And I've said it time and time again, I love the Create mod so much, I will not play a Minecraft mod pack without the Create mod. I mean, even this one, it's a medieval fantasy world. Yeah, I got the Create mod. I mean, because, you know, we're going to want drawbridges and windmills and stuff, water wheels. Those are medieval or even pre-medieval inventions. Now, of course, really what I'm after is the Steam and Rails mod, which will give me trains, Create-based trains that can be whatever you want. They don't have to be trains. And that's another story for another time, I guess. But I was convinced, and but you know, all those technology mods, they're technology mods, right? Immersive engineering was very cool, and when I started with immersive engineering, where's the meat? There it is. Okay. Back in my Griffin Manor and Griffin Hall days, I married it with the Create mod. Now, at the time, Create and immersive engineering had a little bit of overlap, but they were largely very different from each other, and so combining them kind of made sense, right? I'll put grains here. We've got some more grains later, and I will put the straw with the grains because that's where we get the straw. And cantaloupes are fruits, so we'll put those there. Technically, cucumbers are fruits, but I'm going to put them over here with the vegetables because that's what we traditionally classify them as. And then I'm not going to put the carrots in directly. I'm going to go over here to the book and put in the carrots and just make sure this is all working as advertised, right? So we open this up and we shift click these, and this says I have 174. So if we go over here, make sure we still have 174. Yep. Okay. So it's working. Anyway, so you had all these great mods, and then the clincher was Ars Nouveau, because it's like all those technology mods. It gives you energy sources. You can run defenses. You can automate harvesting. You can do all these things, but it's magic based, and that was the clincher. Now, the ability to have magical spells, that was kind of gravy to me at the time. And then once I started playing the system, I thought, wow, this is really amazing. Perhaps one could argue even OP a little bit. But I was okay with the OP because I set up the Ice and Fire Dragons mod. And so when the time comes to actually fight those Ice and Fire Dragons, I'm not sure Ars Nouveau is OP enough. But that's another bridge for another day. We'll cross it when we get there. But anyway, so this is where we're at. Now, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. If you're watching this, you've got to be at least remotely interested in modded Minecraft, right? And if that's the case, you must have played like the kitchen sink mod packs, right? Which is, like all the mods 9, all the mods 10. I mean, they have like 350 mods, but those sets are really set up not specifically to cater to any one genre or use, but really they're like everything in the kitchen sink, knock yourself out. And I started with those, right? I learned a lot about mod packs and performance mods and all that type of jazz there, and then I built my own mod pack. Now I built 3 of them actually. And but if you have any type of interest in this, I really encourage you to kind of experiment and do the same. I think you'll find it's kind of a slippery slope, because once you start making your own mod packs, then the next stage is that your mod pack, you can run the danger of never being finished with your mod pack, right? And I was kind of there for a while, which is I had a mod pack I liked, I had tweaked it so it worked, all the pieces played well together, everything was fine. But those mod makers, gosh darn it, they don't sleep apparently, and so they were coming up with new mods all the time, or they were upgrading mods or adding add-ons to mods. And so even though I had a mod pack that I liked, and it was done, they would still come out with a new mod every once in a while. It's like, oh, I gotta have that. Eventually, do yourself a favor, quit, and where I was learning about these, of course, was watching YouTube videos that, there's guys who specialize in, here's the latest mods, here's the best mods of, February or whatever. And I kept watching those guys, and of course, that's, how can you not, right? It's kind of like being a little kid on Saturday morning and watching the toy and cereal commercials on Saturday morning, right, in the old days. Mom, can I have this? Mom, can I have that? So I had to quit doing that. And I've been pretty happy ever since. I'm pretty satisfied with the mod mix I have now. And I mean, the thing is I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of the mods I have here now. If you've been watching the series, you know that's true, right? Because I do everything on camera, and I believe this is episode 30, right? So we are 30 hours into this world. So it's kind of funny when you say, well, that's 30 episodes. That sounds like a lot when you say that I'm like 30 hours into this. That's not a lot, right? Because 30 hours into it is basically like, if I wasn't doing a film series, if I wasn't doing a YouTube series, I could maybe do 30 hours of a game in a week, right? And I'd be kind of like at the same point I'm at now. I mean, I've made really good progress. If you look at it in terms of 30 hours, if you look at it in terms of over a year, you're like, holy smokes, man! You've been working on this for a year and you're still here. Yep, that's how this thing works. But then again, I pull up again. Okay, then again, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And the whole premise is that I told you what I'm going to build, and I'm just having fun building it, right? I mean, if you want guys who can really build fast, well, I'm the wrong guy. And if you want guys who are going to like have all these crazy role-playing elements and stuff, and really deep and compelling story, yeah, that's not your guy either. But if you're just somebody who's like me, out on the journey, not reaching the destination, but rather enjoying the trip, and want to see this grow and evolve as we go along, then you are in the right spot. Now, add to that, if you are a purveyor of fine dad humor, or Not even necessarily fine dad humor, because I'm not entirely sure there is such a thing. But if you just enjoy dad humor or dads, then hello, welcome one and all. I just want to make it clear too, when it comes to dad humor, because there are people who genuinely don't like it. I get that, and too bad for them. But some of those people will say, don't laugh. That just encourages them. Let me give you a little piece of advice. As somebody who is a long-term and habitual purveyor of dad humor, it's not the laughter we're after. It's a reaction. It doesn't matter what the reaction is, right? So laughter's great. Laughter means we found good people. Okay. But if you don't want to encourage us, then you have to learn not to react at all. No eye rolls, no groans, because that's as good as laughter in my book. In fact, in some cases, depending on who we're talking about, that might be better than laughter. And so, I'm just telling you, that is how it is. And I think a lot of you guys have it easy because dad humor and dads in general are kinder, gentler forms of what dads were back in the day. Because I grew up in the old days, right? I mean, the type of the old days where dads could beat you up and they wouldn't call child protective services and stuff. It was a very different world, and so dads at that point, when they made humor, it was sometimes at your expense, and it wasn't really all that funny, especially if it was at your expense. Yeah, I haven't told this story for a while, but to give you an example of exactly what I'm talking about, my dad was very much an example of this. He was a self-described redneck, grew up in Montana, and he loved pulling jokes on people and stuff. And his favorite person of all time to pull jokes on was me. Anyhow, one of the things he did once was one day out of the clear blue sky, he'd walk up and he'd ask me, hey Mike, because he called me Mike and not Michael, long story. But anyway, he'd say, hey Mike, are you a fart smeller or a smart feller? And of course, what are you going to say, right? I think I was 11 when he said this. So I'm like, I'm a smart feller. Of course you're a smart feller. And for like 2 weeks, every time my dad walked by, he says, are you a fart smeller or a smart feller? And I'm like, I'm a smart feller. Of course, that's what you're going to say, especially when you're 11 years old and, socially awkward and all that good stuff. Now, this has gone on for a couple weeks, right? And then my dad switched it up. He wouldn't ask me about both. He wouldn't say, are you a fart smeller or a smart feller? He'd say, are you a fart smeller? Now, he only gave me one. And of course, my answer was still, no, I'm a smart feller. And he did this for another 2 weeks. This is all part of his preparations, his conditioning of me. Okay. So, after 2 weeks of this, we're in the truck. It was a work truck, and it was late 70s, so work trucks didn't have back seats, right? There was no king cab. It was just like one big bench seat. And on the bench seat was my dad, my sister, me, and my grandpa. And we're driving. And out of the clear blue sky, my dad asks, hey, Mike, are you a smart feller? I've been conditioned to say the opposite. So, right there, in front of my grandpa, my sister, my dad, driving down the road, I declare loudly and proudly, I am a fart smeller. Oh boy, we almost crashed. My grandpa was probably going to have a heart attack. My sister couldn't see, she was laughing. And my dad had tears come out of his eyes. He couldn't drive. He actually had to pull over. So like I said, dad humor in now versus dad humor then, it's kinder, gentler. Go with it. Or maybe just dads are kinder, gentler. I don't know. Anyway, so this also answers the second question, because people meet me and say, you're kind of weird. And he's like, yeah, I wonder why. But if you never had your dad come up to you and say, hey, pull my finger, consider yourself lucky. Anyway, that was quite a tangent. A grandpa moment on being a dad, or dad humor. Being a dad's totally different. They got, some insurance company has these commercials out where they're like, the premise of the commercial is that sooner or later, no matter how much you say you're not going to grow up to be like your parents, you do grow up to be like your parents. And they show all these people in these situations where they do typical old dad and grandpa type things, right? And like admonishing people to supermarket, how to do things, or it's pretty funny. You got to watch it. But the bottom line is, you do eventually become your parents. As much as that's going to drive some of you nuts. I mean, I can guarantee anybody that is terrified by that proposition, you're young. You're really, really young. And I can tell you right now, the way you think, the way you act, your sets of priorities, the whole shebang, you're going to tell me there's no way on this green earth that you're ever going to be like your parents. And I'll nod my head and say, okay, whatever. And in 20 or 30 or 40 years, if I'm still around, or if you even still remember, you're going to acknowledge, oh my God, I've become like my parents. It's a fact. It is a fact. And then when you come back to your parents, you go, you're right. Or, they know. They were waiting because it happened to them. When they were young, their parents acted certain ways. Their parents told them certain things, and they were like, whatever. It's it's different, old timer. We got cars and stuff now. Electricity. You don't know what you're talking about. This is a whole new ball of wax. No, it's not. It's the same ball of wax, just different people, different technologies. But in the end, people are people. I have a friend who lives in Ireland, and when he went to college, he had to take some elective courses, and he was always interested in Egyptology, right? So he took an Egyptology course, and he said it was really fascinating. But the thing that really knocked his socks off is that part of the Egyptology course was they learned a little bit of the hieroglyphics, and they're going in, they're translating some of these tablets and stuff that are found, and you got these big long lines of hieroglyphics, which are, the picture writing, right? And you think that they're writing about, oh, here's King Tut and he did this. And yeah, they do write a lot about that. But other times they're writing, some philosopher, right, is saying, hey, here's the world today, or, whatever. He says there was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I think that's enough. He's, let's count this one and make sure I got it right first time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we can just line them up. So now again, we're talking about ancient Egypt. We're talking about like 3000 BC. So you're talking 5,000 years ago. 5000. And you're going to tell me, things are totally different. No. So they translate some of these texts, and the guy's complaining how young people don't listen to their elders. They got all these crazy ideas in their head, going to do things their own way. Sooner or later, they'll learn the difference. They don't respect traditions, blah, 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 blah. Oh, my God. I've been hearing old folks say that ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I mean, and it's not just me, because you watch movies from the 30s, and they say the same thing. It's there's the universal truth, right? So I did not mean to do that like that. because I'm just hacking or whatever. And of course, all these places I want to hit with my diamond pickaxe, there's a dirt clod in the way, so go ahead and do it this way. Yeah, they're just universal truths, right? So, you know, so you would think, wow, they invented democracy. Yeah, it didn't change anything. Oh, wow, they invented gunpowder. Didn't change anything. You know, oh, they invented electricity. Yeah, it didn't change anything. We got cars, we got smartphones, the internet. Didn't change anything. There you go. And the thing that amazes me is once you learn that people are pretty much the same as they always have been, I am sometimes amazed that we still function at all as a society, right? And now one could make the argument that we're not doing such a good job at that at the moment, yeah. But that's neither here nor there. You know, people are people. That's Depeche Mode put it perfectly. So it's slightly different context in that case, but still. Anyway, Depeche Mode. Ooh, wow. 80s music, yes. I grew up in the late 70s and 80s, so 80s music, that's my music, right? But when I grew up, my mom was a stay-at-home mom until the divorce, and then she wasn't. But when she was a stay-at-home mom, she was home all day, and half the time she spent that time cleaning. I mean, my mom, like, if you ever watch Monica on Friends, that was my mom, right? You know, but people have this thing where if they drop some food, there's a 5-second rule. Yeah, at my house, we didn't have a 5-second rule. In fact, Mom could most of the time intercept it before it hit the ground. So she was really meticulous on cleaning the house. But the point and all that is the music, because my mom, that's what she did all day. And when she was doing it, she had her 8-track player, and she would play her music. Now, what she would play is she would play these 8-tracks that were anthologies of 60s and 50s hits, basically, right? And so that's what I grew up listening, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I just, you know, so the Tokens and the Drifters and, you know, Elvis Presley and Roy Orbison and all these guys. Yeah, I know their songs by heart as a kid even. So, but that was her era. I just happened to be multilingual when it comes to pop music. Yeah. Now, what I actually learned, I mean, I learned to love the Beatles. I love the Beatles, and I love Motown, and I love all the jazz. Now, the thing is, I found out later, there's a lot of the stuff that was on those tapes, my mom didn't particularly care for. Like Motown, she doesn't like Motown, and she doesn't like the Beatles. And he's like, but the thing is, it was 8-track, right? I mean, it wasn't like today where you could like, well, today it's even better. I mean, when I was coming of age, it came out with CDs, and you know, a song came on you didn't want, you could hit skip easy. And now you don't even have to do that. Now you don't even listen to music on a CD. You listen to it on a playlist, right, online. And with the playlist, you just don't put in the songs you don't want, right? So, but I didn't know that. So we're listening to her tunes on the 8-tracks. She can't fast forward, so I heard a lot of the tunes over and over and over that I grew to love that she didn't love. So, ironically, I love the music from my mom's era as a whole more than my mom does, which is kind of bizarre. Anyway, I know why I'm rambling, because, you know, a lot of grunt work here. A lot of grunt work. But, you know, this is something I've been thinking about recently because, you know, I've been playing Hightail, and I have a series called Into the Breach, and the point of that series is, you know, we're just going to explore Hightail, right? It's an interesting game. It's doing some interesting stuff. Let's check this out. And then I got the idea we should explore modded Hightail, and that's a different conversation I've already had elsewhere. But I'm kind of thinking that the best format for those would be to live stream. And I haven't live streamed in a long time, because what I wanted to use live streaming for, right, kind of like this, like an interactive two-way conversation, me and you, and exploring these different mods, right, checking them out, saying what if, and then try it on the spot. Those experiments didn't work well because live streaming is still very pointy-headed and fragile and convoluted. I mean, it's easy to break, and so I didn't do live streaming for a while. But now that I'm thinking about this Hightail thing, I'm thinking about doing live streams specifically for the Hightail stuff. And if you've been watching live streams, that's often what happens, right? It's kind of like this. Guy's playing a game. He's got stuff to do. He's out there doing it, but the audience is there and they're just having conversation. We just talk about the weirdest stuff, right? We talk about what's going on in the game. We talk about what's going on for breakfast or whatever. It's just like, just out there, just people talking about kids not paying attention to their elders and dissing on traditions, whether they be Egyptian or otherwise. So, yeah, it's anyhow. So I'm seriously thinking of doing that. I mean, I think I've tipped over the fence post on that, right? Sitting on the fence. I think I'm falling squarely on the side of doing it. So now it's just preparing to do it. And since the last time I live streamed, of course, YouTube's added some complexity to it because now they want to monetize and run ads into live streams, which, oh boy. So yeah, I've been dealing with that, trying to sort that out. And the other thing too is one of the problems I had was especially in the context of playing a game while you're live streaming, right? You don't want it to, unless you're in creative mode. Oops, didn't mean to hit him. Okay. If you're, I didn't mean to do that either. Oops. My bad. Unless you're in creative mode, right? You gotta pay attention to what's going on in the world, right? And it's mostly visual. But if you're looking away constantly at another monitor to see what people are saying, you're gonna miss something, right? Which there may be some comic value in that, but it might be better to keep your eyes on the screen all the time. And what I was always trying to find or figure out a way to do was how could I have the conversation on the same screen that I'm recording, right? And then that way I don't have to take my eyes from the main screen. Now, that was tough when we were doing those mod videos because I was constantly jumping in and out of the game, and we were jumping into like Windows, and we were doing stuff with mod configs and all that jazz. And I mean, sometimes it got so screwed up I lost whole episodes, right? Because like it didn't record the screen at all, just me talking and everybody wondering what in the hell I was talking about. So but I think back to my point, like if I'm focusing on a single game session, we're not bouncing around between applications or whatever. In this case, it would be Hightail, and Hightail actually has it has many add-ons. I mean, mods, but there's one specifically for streaming the YouTube chat onto the Hightail screen, right, as part of your normal chat window. And I got one more test to run to make sure it works as I expect it to, but it's looking good. Now that is kind of like anyhow, that is kind of like my killer app, right? That's that's essentially the piece I was missing, and it only works in this scenario, which I wasn't doing before, but now I am. So that's where we're headed with all that. So we're going to be moving strawberries and onions and green tea downstairs, but I also can bring some stuff down to put into storage. Stuff that I'm already growing, because this is all stuff I'm not growing yet. And I need a tree. Ooh, apple tree. Okay. So let's grab the apple tree. Let's see if we can grow. Oh, grabbing the apple tree, turn the music off. It's probably highly suspicious. That's circumstantial. Anyhow, let's go plant the apple tree, and then 3 fields. I'm gonna need a bunch of hoes. And with the apple tree, I actually need some dirt is what I need. So, because I dug a hole like I was going to irrigate a field, but I'm not going to irrigate a field. So, let's fill the hole and then plop the apple tree right there. I'm not sure how big that grows out to be. So, hopefully, I mean, if they're small trees, you can usually put 4 of them on a plot that size. But I only have 1 bucket of water. So, what I'm going to do here is going to temporarily knock out these 2. And make an infinite source of water, so I don't have to keep running up and down stairs. Anyhow, what we were talking about. Oh, and then yeah. Well, I'm looking at time. I don't have time to talk about this. You know, Hightail did come out, and Hightail has definitely started a lot of different conversations, right? What does it mean? You know, that's the big thing, right? If you talk to people, there are people who run around saying Hightail's out, it's king, Minecraft's dead. There's people running around saying Minecraft will last forever, Hightail's flash in the pan, and then of course there's everything in between. Most people are definitely in between someplace, but it is interesting. I always thought that Hightail coming out was going to shake things up, and it's definitely doing that. It's definitely doing that. And now, I want to get rid of the snow without killing that field. I think I'll just use my shovel and make a zillion snowballs. But Hightail's definitely shaking up the sandbox survival crafting genre, right? And that's what I hope to do, right? And I mean, I know somebody's going to take offense to this, but I really do think that Minecraft has been complacent. Right? Oh, this one froze. I need to put lights in these so they don't freeze. I really do think not Microsoft. I don't even say Mojang. Minecraft has been complacent. Now, I think my personal opinion. I don't know. I don't have friends on the Minecraft team or anything, but my guess is, you know, when Microsoft bought those guys, I'm sure they had ideas and dreams and things, directions they wanted to go, and Microsoft spent $2 billion on a golden goose, and they didn't want anything to jeopardize that. And having worked at Microsoft for a number of years myself, I can totally understand if they were given instructions to, like, not rock the boat, right? Make minimal changes. We're not gonna overhaul anything, right? We're gonna have minimal staff. Basically, just keep the money flowing. And I mean, it's obviously worked for them for a number of years. And I'm sure that when Hightail was unveiled and the kind of crazy hype that was generated from that must have made them nervous. But then, 7 years of vaporware and then being canceled, they're resting easy going, hey, we took a gamble. We decided to do nothing, and it looks like it paid off. And so I think they were pretty happy about that. And then Hightail actually released, and Hightail had 2 million sales in one day, and Hightail this, and Hightail, now they're back to sweating bullets again. And it's not that I don't think they're sweating bullets because they're thinking like everybody's going to go play Hightail and Minecraft's going to die. I think Minecraft is always going to be there in some shape or form. The thing is, I mean, Minecraft is the most sold game in history. And it's going to take a long time for anybody to catch up to that, if ever. But Minecraft has been the yardstick against which the genre has been measured. And I think at a minimum, oh my gosh, that thing grew already and it's huge. Okay. Okay. I'm assuming those flowers are apples that'll be on the way soon. Anyway, I think what's happened now is, unless something radically changes, right? Hightail is going to redefine what the expectations are in this genre. And they're in the driver's seat now, right? I think that's the things they pulled off, people thought weren't possible, but it's apparently possible. And it's going to have to reshape design decisions. Anybody who's going to have a game that they want to actively sell from this point forward in this genre, they're going to have to shape those requirements and specifications against audience expectations based on what Hightail was able to achieve, what Hightail's bringing to the market. I mean, that's just a fact, right? It's not, now people, the bar's been raised. People will expect more. And what Minecraft has been doing for a long time, I don't think people are going to accept that as a whole much longer. I mean, some people will be happy with it, but I think they're going to be under a lot of pressure to do something more. And the problem really is Minecraft's not set up to do more, right? I think ultimately that's one of the things I've mentioned on many times in these series is that, Minecraft is Minecraft. The way it was designed a decade ago, well, the way it was coded a decade ago, I mean, it's 15 years old now, but, they basically solidified, they doubled down on all those design decisions, right? It is what it is. And in tech, we call that technical debt, right? You can't add something because the way it's structured now, you'd have to break that. You'd have to redesign it. And of course, if you want to keep it backwards compatible so that people don't have to start all new worlds and so, I mean, 15 years comes with a lot of baggage from a customer perspective. Nobody's going to want to have to recreate their worlds from scratch, right? They want to be able to carry their worlds forward. That complicates this whole discussion. And for years, like I said, Microsoft spent $2 billion. They weren't looking to expand Minecraft. They wanted to leverage it. And so it is what it is. And it really hasn't, the stuff that's grown, like I'd say the Nether update and Cliffs and Caves and Cliffs, both of those, that's the type of changes I'm talking about. But even then, those changes didn't really change the underlying mechanics of the game. And that's really what's got to change, because the thing, when people are making these discussions and they're saying, well, like I saw a video and the guy says, Minecraft will never die because, Hightail came out, but it's reinvigorated the Minecraft community. And as long as Minecraft has this big community of modders especially, it's not going to go away. And I do agree with that. But the thing you have to remember is, it's not Hightail people and Minecraft people. It's gamers who like to play this type of game. And there's a lot of people that play both. I mean, I'm playing Minecraft right now. I'm telling you how much I enjoy Hightail. I'm both. There's a lot of people who play both, right? And when you talk about the modding community, here's the part that hurts. What shocked me was that even before Hightail was released, the modders had been given access, and they had mods that were coming online before you could get the game. And people were doing videos about what these mods were and who these guys were. Well, guess what, folks? Some of those modders are the same people who made some of my favorite mods in my Minecraft mod packs. So Quick Draw McGraw, who makes all the not McGraw, but Macaw, who makes all the Macaw's mods that I use, the windows, the door, he's in there, right? Coxon, who makes immersive aircraft and all those other immersive, he's in there. Cerillum, who makes a bunch of quality of life mods that I use, like quick refill and all these, he's in there, right? Or she's in there, I'm not sure about that one. But all these people are already in there, and here's the thing: when people are talking about it's a Minecraft world or a Hytale world, no, it's both. But when look at some mods or whatever, I mean not mods, some videos about the difference crafting mods for Minecraft versus crafting mods for Hytale. Minecraft was never designed to be modded. Never designed specifically to be modded. Now they made a few changes here and there to help facilitate modding, but realistically, if you can make data packs or resource packs without being a developer, but to mod, really to write mods, like vehicles or whatever, you have to be a developer. But when it comes to Hytale, yeah, you kind of still need to be a developer, but not a great one. They've really lowered the bar, and that's how they're able to get all these people of all these mods. And come on, if you are a modder, even knowing if you are capable of doing the heavy lifting necessary to make Minecraft mods, it's just so much easier to mod for Hytale. So there might be people who are going to be totally Minecraft forever, and that's the same type of people who say, I was Republican, my dad was Republican, my granddad was Republican, my great-great-granddad. Okay, those type of people will, excuse me, they'll play Minecraft forever. I played Minecraft since I was a kid, my kid plays Minecraft. Okay, but in the end, most people are going to go to where the fun is. They're going to go where the best use of their time, get the maximum enjoyment for what they put into it. At the moment, I think that a lot of modders will start gravitating toward Hytale because they have a game specifically designed to be modded, and everything except pretty much the start screen can be modded. Anyhow, so now what does that mean? I mean, is it going to overtake Minecraft? I don't know. I don't know. All I'm telling you is the rules of the game have changed. That is for certain. How this shakes out, I don't know. Hytale's not going to go anywhere, and like I said, it's doing things in a totally different way. It's shocking people. It's showing what's possible. Not just in technical terms like what you can do with your game. Technical, also in business terms, right? I mean, Riot bought this game and said, no, we can't make this work money-wise. We put too much money into it. It's, forget it. Simon bought it back, and he fronted a lot of his own money. But now I'm looking at this, and from a business case, right, from profit and loss, it looks like it's going to be self-sufficient. I mean, there's nothing to show that this will be a drop-off. I mean, well, at least not a flash in the pan. There might be a drop-off. But in the end, I think this might be self-sufficient. Right? Now, we'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, Minecraft doesn't have to be self-sufficient. It has Microsoft's deep pockets. And, though, to be fair, Microsoft is currently telling all of their divisions, you got, I think it's 20 or 30% profit you got to be pulling. And that's kind of tough to do. I mean, 20 or 30% profit. If you were a business person and you could pull 20 or 30% profit, I mean, most business people are pretty thrilled to have 5 or 10% profit, right? Anyway, so they got deep pockets. But I think, when Microsoft bought Minecraft, it was basically access the educational market. They wanted access to kids, right? Because you want to get people. The classic business case is you want people to become loyal customers to your brand as early as possible, right? So so that's what they want, right? They want to make kids into Microsoft customers before they grow up and start making decisions based on their own spending habits, right? By then, it's just like, oh, Microsoft. Yeah, I'll just go with Microsoft. That's branding's important. I mean, anybody who tells you otherwise, well, a marketing guy will always tell you it's most important. But anybody who tells you branding isn't important, well, they're not likely to be a very successful business person. I say that, but then again, well, Elon Musk, I think, would now tell you that branding is important because, recent, the things he's done recently, I mean, he had a pretty solid brand, right? I mean, for billionaires, people generally thought of him in pretty good terms. And then, he started hanging out with the wrong crowd and he said things in weird contexts. And I think he really harmed his brand to a certain extent. And by extension, he wound up harming both SpaceX and Tesla. So, yeah, I think he might have told you at one point that branding's not important, but I think he's definitely aware of just how important branding is. I mean, where we live, you've got Microsoft and we've got Facebook and Amazon. So there's a lot of what I call rich people driving around here, a lot of BMWs and Mercedes, and a whole lot of Teslas. And about like 1 out of every 4 Teslas has some type of sticker on it saying, I bought this before we knew that Elon was cuckoo. So, branding is important. And so I think that's really where Microsoft's investment in Minecraft started. And I think that's probably why they're sticking with it. Now, it's kind of funny because Minecraft Java Edition is really what has been keeping the game alive, because that's where your true modding community lives, and that's truly what's kept the game fresh for so many people. You get sick of vanilla, and then you go in the modding community, and now you could play Minecraft, modded Minecraft Steampunk for 5 years and keep playing different mods, and it doesn't get old. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to play Minecraft Modern or Warfare or Call of Duty or whatever. There's always more options to keep it fresh, right? And but that's in the Java side, where Microsoft's actually making their money now is these need a home is on Bedrock, because they set up the marketplace and stuff. But and that's where they're really working hard to get people to go over there. But and there are plenty of Bedrock players, but I mean, Bedrock players, you see it all the time. If you go out on the boards and you read what they're posting, they get frustrated because, well, not only that, I mean, yeah, I see it in my own videos, right? I have those mod deep dive videos, and I play modded Minecraft, so I play Java Edition, and I post a video, say, like on Villager Recruits, and somebody says, "Oh my gosh, I love this! How can I get it for Bedrock?" I'm like, as far as I know, you can't. I might be wrong. Go out to the developers Discord and see. Maybe I'm wrong, but you can't. I mean, that's the thing, right? You look and you see these awesome mods, and then you try to find out how to install it in Bedrock, and the bad news hits you, and you get hit with that 8 or 9 or 10 times, and then you're like, why am I still playing Bedrock? Well, I don't know. And that's ultimately Microsoft's problem, right? Because that's a whole tangled web to weave. That's neither here nor there. But and as I look, I see it's time. So, okay, I will. take a nap right here. We like to take a look at our handiwork at the end of the episode, and I don't want to do it in a thunderstorm. So let's get rid of the thunder. I'll tell you this though, in Hytale, sleeping doesn't make the weather go away. So just like real life, and just like Vintage Story, by the way, in my current Vintage Story playthrough, if you watch the series, I spent almost all of July indoors, and it wasn't just because it was raining cats and dogs, because it was. It's because it was thunder and lightning. I mean, I kept trying to go outside, and I had a couple near misses. Oh boy. So anyway, there are things to be said about Minecraft as well. But this is the thing, right? As for you and I, as consumers, as people who like to play these games and enjoy them, hot diggity dog. I mean, we've got options, we've got choices, they're growing. All this is going to do, this competition, it's going to raise the bar. It's going to make it, everybody, if people want to make money off us, and they do, it's going to be harder to get our dollars. They're going to have to compete for it, and to compete for those dollars. And I don't know about you, I don't have an infinite number of dollars. So I'm going to spend it where I get the most bang for my buck, literally. Probably you too. So everyone's going to have to up their game, and that's a good thing for you and for me. Speaking of upping our game, look at that. We've actually substantially added to. Actually, now that grew by 25% in one episode, and we got apple trees. So apples are on the way. It was pretty substantial, but mostly I got to just kind of ramble on and talk about stuff. And if you're still watching this, I sincerely thank you for sticking with me through the rambling. I truly appreciate it. You're my kind of people. In the meanwhile, I hope you come back for the next episode. I'm looking forward to it. I think we will continue our central shaft out. I'd really love to get the central shaft all the way up here, and then we could start working on all the, moving the stuff underground and then building this actual castle. And I mean, there's just so much to do, and doing it an hour at a time, it's tricky, but we are making progress. So with all of that said, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps just a touch of good fortune. Cheers.